It's day 26 of the Walk Off the Weight series, and we've got a great power boosting strength workout today. Grab one moderate dumbbell and let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's get moving and grooving. And you know that means we're going to get started with some arm circles with high knees. And I totally meant to tell you to have your dumbbell completely out of the way, of course, because we don't ever need to have weights while we're doing our warm-up. But maybe you thought today was going to be one of those days where we did something completely unusual and different. And you know what? You're not wrong. We are definitely doing something unusual and different today. Welcome to the workout, you guys. I'm Pahla B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are walking off the weight the entire month of January with some fun, challenging, and interesting walking workouts. Now today, honestly, it's not really much walking at all. In fact, yeah, we're not really walking. In fact, I've got all kinds of dynamic strength moves for us today that are going to be different and interesting and challenging. And I want you to know that all of those words mean that you might find today a little bit difficult. And I'm going to tell you right up front that the intervals are nice and quick. In fact, oh my goodness, I forgot my timer. You guys, I'm going to do that thing where I walk off camera and grab my timer because it's right there on my desk. And I should really just wear it when I'm filming the intro is the thing that I'm learning from this. You guys, let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. Here's the dealio. I've got the handy dandy gym boss on my desk over there set for 20-second intervals. It's going to be a pretty fast moving workout, but we're moving in step stools today. So there's going to be enough rest in between, and that means that I can kind of demonstrate some of the more different and possibly more difficult exercises for you in a way that will hopefully be helpful. But here's what I want you to know. Today is very repeating. like sometimes I tell you, oh, we've got no repeats today, and that's so fun and awesome. Today is actually very repeating, and I did that on purpose because some of these moves might be new to you. It gives your brain and your body a chance to kind of get used to what we're doing so that you can feel successful with it. Sometimes when we do new stuff and we do it in relatively short intervals, it feels a little bit rushed, and I want you always to feel successful with the day. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, because welcome to my home. Welcome to my napping puppy here. Who's not really a puppy at all. Blossom's 13 and a half, which is why she's so mellow. You guys, I've noticed that there was a lot of interest in Sweet Blossom because she has joined us for like this whole series, and it's been super fun to have her with me because she hasn't been on camera in years. If you go back and watch some of my really old videos, she's on camera like once or twice. But now she's like, no, I just want to hang out with my mama. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go grab my timer and we're going to get going. And what we're going to start with is the dumbbell in both of our hands. So like the long way, have one hand on each end of it. And we're going to do some high knee press ups. Let me grab my timer. And here I am. And here it is in spot. So we're going to do some high knee press-ups, having your hands on the long end, starting with your hands up, coming down to one high knee, and then down to the other high knee. Now here's the thing about this particular exercise. You can get this moving at not quite a cardio pace, but it's not necessarily slow and controlled the way some of our strength work is. And that is really what we're thinking about today. Here's 20 seconds of rest. When it beeps again, this is how the step stool works, by the way. We add on one exercise to each round until we're doing 3 exercises in a row. That third exercise really makes the interval very long, so we're thinking about managing our heart rate. We're going to start again with those high knee press-ups. And we're going to add on, so here we are go with the high knee press-ups. We're going to add on X marks the spot, which means that we're going to have both hands in the middle of the dumbbell, and we're going to create an X right in front of us. This is a dynamic move where we're chopping down from one shoulder to the opposite hip. And we're controlling that motion by really squeezing and pulling in our abs. So chopping one direction and chopping the other. Now when it beeps again, we're going to get some rest, and we're going to come back and we're going to create the entire step stool with 3 exercises. Right now, really thinking about pulling in that core, thinking about chopping and controlling the chop all at once. This is work. This is work for your brain and your body, just like always, and it might be a little bit different. When we do something with a dumbbell in our hand, I'm so used to telling you, move slowly, be careful. Today is very dynamic. When it beeps again, we're doing those high knee press-ups. The X marks the spot, and then we're tripling it with something that's called swings. If you've ever done, here we go, with high knee press-ups. If If you have ever done kettlebell work at all, you will be familiar with a swing. If you have not, it's totally okay. We start in a position that is basically half squat, half deadlift, and we push our hips forward in a way that makes our hands raise in front of us. It's a very interesting move. Here we go with X marks the spot. We're chopping and we're chopping. And then when it beeps again, we're going to get into that half squat, half deadlift position, and we're going to pop our hips up from that half squat, half deadlift. And while we pop our hips up, our arms are quite naturally going to come swinging up right in front of us. Now, here we go. So we're going to pop and our arms come up. Pop. Now, you're going to be really tempted when it beeps again. Of course, we're going to get 20 seconds of rest. You're going to be really tempted to just raise the dumbbell with your arms because it's not very heavy, and that's not the point of this move. The work is actually coming from your glutes, popping those hips up, squeezing from the glutes, pulling in your core. That's where your power is coming from. Now, here's the thing. We're going to do that whole step stool one more time. This is what I was talking about with the repeating, because I really want you to kind of feel these exercises. So when it beeps again, we're doing the high knee press ups, and that's it. We're going to rest again after that. And I know, here we go, that some of my bees, some of my this isn't enough bees, are going to start thinking there's a lot of rest here today, Pahla. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing enough. We're not really doing a lot of cardio. I totally get it. I promise you, though, that this workout really is going to build on itself. Here we are with 20 seconds of rest. This workout builds on itself the way, hopefully over the course of the month, you've seen. I always give you enough sweat. When it beeps again, we're going to do that high knee press up with the X marks the spot, really pulling in your core, really thinking about excellent form while moving. Here we go with the high knee press ups, while moving at a pace that feels right for each individual exercise. And as these are new, it might be kind of hard to find that pace. It's totally okay. If you're doing one with really good form, then you are doing enough. If you are familiar with these exercises and you're doing more of them, keeping up with me, here we go with X marks the spot, then that's awesome too. Honestly, you know, if you're moving and you are not getting injured, you are doing enough and you're doing a great job. When it beeps again, we're going to get 20 seconds of rest. We're chopping, oh my goodness, and we're really pulling in our core on this one, really thinking about good form, and especially good core strength. This is the thing about dynamic strength, is that because we are moving faster than we normally would with strength work, we really got to make sure we're pulling our core. So here's our full step stool for the second and final time, starting with those high knee press ups, then X marks the spot, and then we're doing those swings. So here we go with those high knee press ups, thinking about pulling in your core, thinking about good balance, thinking about your standing leg, your knee isn't locked, your elbows aren't locked in this full extension. When it beeps, we're going to come into those X marks the spot, really focusing on controlling a fast motion. So chopping, and chopping to the other side. Really squeezing. You hear me grunting, I know. That's the thing about having the microphone right here. I know you hear me grunting. It's totally okay. When it beeps again, going right into those swings for the second and final time. This is our full step stool. Chop, and here we go with swings. A little squatty deadlift, and pop those hips. Pop those hips. Good job. Squeeze those glutes and release. It's a quick motion that has a lot of momentum behind it. This, my friends, is the magic of dynamic strength. All of a sudden, starts to feel like cardio, doesn't it? Now we've got 20 seconds of rest. I told you. Some kinds of challenge are very ordinary cardio, and then some of them kind of come out of nowhere like this. Here's our second step stool, my friends. We're doing twisting kicks. This again is like a cardio move that we've certainly done before, but because we have a dumbbell in our hands, here we go. We're twisting and we're kicking. We're moving a little bit slower than we would if we were just doing cardio. The weight is right here at your chest. We're pulling in our core. We're getting a nice kick that's, it's not super powerful, you see. There's not a lot of kick behind this kick, but because we are twisting, 20 seconds of rest, because we are twisting and kicking and holding on to a weight, we're really pulling in our core. We're really thinking about excellent form. When it beeps again, we're going to do twisting kicks plus a kettlebell move again that's called halos. What that means is we're going to wrap the dumbbell around our head in one direction and then the other. Here we go, twisting kicks. It is is more complicated than it looks. I have been doing this move for years, and so therefore I made that look really easy. It actually requires you to really think about it. You're gonna lead with your elbow up and over your head, and you're thinking about getting the dumbbell, while you're holding it long ways here, you're thinking about getting the dumbbell to basically touch the back of your neck. So lead with your elbow, come up and around, and then stop in front, and then lead with your opposite elbow, come up and around. Your core is pulled in nice and tight, my friends. We're standing with our feet about hip width apart. Your knees are soft but strong. Engage your thighs. Let your knees not be locked. As that dumbbell, 20 seconds of rest. As the dumbbell is going up and over, we're really paying attention to keeping your tailbone tucked under you and your core pulled in. When it beeps again, okay. I've got an extra little challenge for us here. The intervals stay the same. The step stool gets a little bit longer. We're gonna start with twisting kicks, then we're gonna do those halos, and then I actually have a single-sided exercise for us. Here we go with twisting kicks. We're gonna add on snatches. Now a snatch is a lot like a swing. You're gonna have the dumbbell in one hand though. So starting with a little bit deeper of a squat, you're gonna pop your hips so that you come up, and when you do that, your one hand is gonna go all the way over your head. Here we go with those halos. Now here's the thing, because it's single-sided, we're gonna have the dumbbell in one hand. We're gonna do one interval on each side. This will really give you a chance to notice what this feels like on each side. And of course, it makes the work interval a little bit longer. I'm gonna start with the dumbbell in my left hand. We're gonna be down in that little bit of a squatty, deadlifty move. Gonna pop your hips, and boom, your arm's gonna go up overhead. Now again, I know you're thinking, oh, I could just lift the dumbbell right over my head. It's moderate. This isn't too heavy. I totally feel you on that one. But let your hips push your arm up overhead. We're gonna go ahead and switch hands. Pop, and up it goes. Pop, and up it goes. It's so fascinating to me every time we do this move that your butt can make your arm move. Isn't that bizarre and amazing at the same time when it beeps again? Oh my gosh. We are done with this step stool, but we're not done with this step stool because of course we're going to do it a second time through. But we're going to start again with just the twisting kicks. I don't know about you, but that started to feel very cardio-y, those last two intervals of the snatches. This is the magic of dynamic motion, my friends. Let's go ahead and hold the dumbbell by its long horn here. We're going to twist and kick, twist and kick. This is faster than regular strength, slower than regular cardio, meeting in the middle as a dynamic strength move that's really pulling in your core, emphasizing your abdominals and obliques. Oh my gosh, what a good job you're doing. Here's 20 seconds of rest. This time, of course, we're gonna add on those halos. And I say, of course, do you have this memorized yet? I know you don't, my friends. This is the great news about following somebody. I have the whiteboard in front of me, so I know what's coming next when it beeps. We're doing those twisting kicks and adding on the halos, really thinking, even though our feet are standing still, and it seems like that should be a very slow moving exercise. We're moving at a pace that we can figure out how to engage our core while moving dynamically with a weight in our hand. So lead with your elbow up and around. Lead with your opposite elbow up and around. Getting that dumbbell all the way behind your head if you can. If you can't, if it's just kind of going around your head like a halo, like a crown, instead of all the way around your entire head, that's totally okay, my friends. Here's 20 seconds of rest. This is the thing about doing something new. It feels very complicated until your body kind of figures it out and practices it a few times. This might be one of the videos that 3, 4, 5 rounds in, you're like, oh my gosh, I finally got halos. Totally get that. Here we go with twisting kicks. This is the entire step stool this time. So we're adding on those single-sided snatches for our final 2 intervals, really thinking about pulling in our core, moving at a pace that feels good and strong. When it beeps, of course, we're going into halos. And I say, of course, because at this point, you've definitely memorized that. or not, it's okay. Here's our halos, and then when it beeps again, we're going into those snatches, one on each side, or one interval rather, on each side. Really thinking about pulling in your core, especially as we're going behind our head like this. Your lower back could absolutely volunteer. Here we go with snatches. Pop those hips. Pop those hips. Now I know it can be really easy to accidentally lock your knees and lock your elbow on this one by thinking about using good form, squeezing from your glutes, squeezing in your core. We're not locking any of our joints. Here we go on the other side. Pop and pop. Awesome job. If your weight is starting to feel too heavy, my friends, put it down. There's nothing to be had or gained from doing something too difficult today. This is different work, and you can get the motion. Here's 20 seconds of rest. You can get the motion and all the benefits of the motion without weights at all. Okay, you guys, when it beeps again, we are starting our third and final step stool. We're gonna start with delt raise side kicks, which, I mean, if you know what a delt raise is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna hold the dumbbell with your palms facing you and one hand on each long end. Blossom. Oh, you made it almost the whole time today. I love you, sweetheart. We'll see you next time. This delt raise side kick, by the way, is the reason I have trouble with butter churns. You notice that it's different as our hands are going up, our leg is going out. This is why, here's 20 seconds of rest. This is why I get confused, just so you know. And if that made no sense to you, don't worry about that either. I know in my own brain that there are two exercises that are very similar but not the same, and then I get confused. So here we go with our second thing. We're going to do delt raise side kicks paired with knees to elbows. So here we go with delt raise side kicks, pulling that dumbbell up right underneath your chin, leading with your elbows, not shrugging your shoulders, but using your back muscles to bring that dumbbell up and down. When it beeps, we're going to hold the dumbbell in front of us with our elbows pointed forward, and you're going to bring up one high knee at a time and try to get your knee to your elbow. Now, here's the deal. Oh my gosh, if you can't get your knee all the way to your elbow, it's totally okay. It's not about that. It's about the squeeze, it's about the balance, it's about pulling in your core, and it's about finding a speed where you can do this work dynamically and safely. So, 20 seconds of rest. That might be slower than me as you're kind of figuring out how we're moving here. Now you guys, here we go with our final step stool. This is another one where it's a single-sided final interval. We're gonna do high pulls, which is almost exactly like the snatches, except instead of going straight up overhead, we're gonna bring your elbow back at the last minute. So we're gonna start off with those delt raise side kicks. Here we go with delt raise side kicks. Those high pulls is a very, very similar motion. I mean, it is a snatch, except that your elbow is controlling where the dumbbell goes. Be really, really careful not to smack yourself in the face with the dumbbell. When you bring your hand next to your head like that, it could be a problem. We're doing knees to elbows now. Elbows pointed forward with both hands on one end of the dumbbell, moving slowly but quickly. How's that for a good description? Pull in your core, and when it beeps again, we're going directly into those high pulls. I'm going to start with my left hand. You can start with either side, doesn't matter to me. Really thinking about controlling that pop, popping from your hips to get your arm to go where you want it to go, and then using your big back muscles to pull that elbow back at the last minute. Doggies. When it beeps, going to do the same thing on the other side. This is a lot like starting a lawnmower. This is what I think of when I'm doing this exercise. It's like an old pole start mower. Vroom and vroom. Really controlling your whole body, noticing that you're pulling in your core, thinking about controlling where your body is going, squeezing from your glutes. And 20 seconds of rest. Amazing how this dynamic strength work totally just became cardio. This, my friends, is how we get all day energy. We've talked about this when we're doing just the right amount of work, empowering, fun, different, challenging work. Here we go with those delt raise side kicks. This is how we can have all day energy and feel amazing. Learning something new when you're in the middle of it and your body feels uncoordinated doesn't always feel amazing. But then when we go through it a couple of times and then fall over, but then when we go through it a couple of times and we really master this, here's 20 seconds of rest. It really feels like you've learned something. I mean, you know what that feels like when you learn something new and you feel empowered in the world. Like, I mastered something that was really hard for me. When it beeps again, we're gonna do those delt raise side kicks plus the knees to elbows. So delt raise side kicks. Oh my gosh, I keep holding this wrong. Delt raise side kicks with your palms facing you, which means that you're holding the dumbbell a little bit differently. You're gonna change your grip on it when we go into those knees to elbows in order to have your elbows pointed forward for the next exercise. Really thinking about pulling in your core, moving at a pace that feels right. Knee to elbow. Knee to elbow, or somewhere near abouts. Knee up, how about that? And really trying hard not to curl too far forward into it. I know it's tempting. You really want your elbow to touch your knee, but let's bring your knee up as far as it can go and your elbows are just where they are. And here's 20 seconds of rest. You guys, here it is. We're gonna go through this. This is our final time through the final step stool, starting with those delt raise side kicks, adding on those knees to elbows, and then adding those high pulls for the final time. We're getting ready for it, right? Because this is our long work interval and we are totally feeling empowered and energetic at this point, learning some new things, feeling really good, really moderate still, and feeling like we've got enough energy for the rest of our day. That is the magic of moderation, my friends. When it beeps here, we're going to do those knees to elbows, thinking about squeezing from your core. Of course, we're standing on one leg at a time, which means that you've got your core pulled in, really thinking about balancing by engaging all the muscles in your legs. When it beeps again, I'm going to put the dumbbell in my left hand, going to do those high pulls on the left side first, and then on the right side, here we go. Pop, and bring that elbow back. Pop, and bring that elbow back. There really is no resting position. This is all momentum. If you need to stop, you can stop and take a break. It's totally okay. My friends, you're doing what's best for you throughout this workout. When it beeps, I'm gonna change hands. Here we go, high pulls, whoo, doggies. On the other side, oh my goodness, what a great job you're doing. Whew, doggies. When it beeps again, we are done. We're not quite finished. We are going to take 20 seconds of rest though to bring our heart rate down after this long interval. And we're going to put the dumbbell down, but we're going to put it down right in front of us. Here's what I've got for us for our finisher. Dumbbell goes right on the ground. And honestly, the dumbbell has almost nothing to do with this exercise. It's a single leg squat and reach. So I'm going to stand on one leg, for example, my left leg first, and I'm going to reach my right hand towards the dumbbell, coming down into a single leg. Well, I'm calling it a squat, but honestly, my back toe is still on the ground. It's almost like a split squat. If you don't want to do squats, my friends, do kicks. You can absolutely just have the dumbbell down on the ground and be doing any kind of a kick that feels best for you. You never ever have to squat. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then this will be it. You never have to squat or lunge to get all the benefit of all of the workouts we are doing this month, my friends. There is always a way to modify and moderate and make these workouts work for you. The next time it beeps is the last time it's going to, and that was it. Oh my gosh. How good did that feel, you guys? There we go. Now that it's off, let's go ahead and do some arm circles and cool this down. Fun, different, challenging, empowering. How are you feeling? You guys, I always want to know, and I do really appreciate how many of you are leaving such nice comments on the videos. I love to hear from you. I love to know how you are feeling with each day's workout. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Let's go ahead and open it up. Stretch out that chest, my goodness. And then close it up. Give yourself a nice big hug and a pat on your back. So, so proud of you for doing something new and different and dynamic today. You guys, of course, here on screen, I've got a longer cool down for you, especially today. when we did something very different, it might take a couple more minutes to really just get your body back into your body with some nice familiar stretches and a little bit of walking. On the other side of the screen, of course, we're going to talk about how to lose weight, everything you need to know to lose weight at 50 and beyond. If you haven't watched it yet, I do encourage you to, and if you have, I'm going to encourage you to watch it again anyways, because it's really nice to just keep repeating that moderate is enough, 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 my friends. Thank you so much for working out with me. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.